August 5th, 2012, Sunday. Darkspeed and most of First Team had already showered and prepared themselves for 0700 and Coach Connor's arrival. "Where's she?" Darkspeed asked. "When she came home last night after her brain session, she went right to her room," Bioforce answered. Darkspeed said nothing. He just looked at Virtuoso. "Oh, now I'm expected to eavesdrop," she said. Jet was still sleeping. I just woke her up. Midas was still adjusting to his teammates having more than one name. "Are we supposed to use those names while in here, or do we treat them like a secret we can't talk about?" "Only use them in this room unless Connors or I say otherwise," Darkspeed stated. "Hey, who died and made you king?" Midas shot back. "I was appointed king, and no one's died, yet." She came out from her room with a just woke up look. "Good morning, sorry I overslept." "Coach should be here any minute. Why were you up so late?" Darkspeed asked she. "I was back at 2100 like you said, and then we kept working over the comm system and the computers." "When did you go to bed?" Darkspeed asked as he noticed Connors walking through the door. Connors had just heard the last question Darkspeed asked. "Go ahead and answer him," he said to she. "Just a couple hours ago." She, "You need to get enough sleep to stay sharp. You don't know what each day here will bring," Connors said to her. "But we made so many breakthroughs last night. It was one of the best sessions I ever had with other scientists, or at least scientists to be. Your father and I had several talks about your training, so I'm curious. What exactly were you working on?" She sat down on an old couch in the middle of the room, and First Team started gathering around her. "We were working on a new supersuit that would replace the Greys. We started with what we're calling nanomail. Triple-walled, interlocked carbon nanotubes and a 6-to-1 chainmail configuration. The center core of each ring has a filament that reflects and dissipates extreme temperature." Connors interrupted her. "We've seen alphas make dream designs like that for years. I have schematics, proposals, and all manner of theoretical studies. Spend your time working on feasible things, not wasting time on the impractical." She smiled at him with all her teeth. "It's not impractical. We already have a prototype." "How?" "It's always been too time-consuming and costly. Those two, they made the first version of nanomail yesterday." She was pointing at Midas and Virtuoso. "How?" Connors said again. "I got the molecular structure of the whatever from IQ and put the information in Midas' head." "He made it," Virtuoso said. "You were able to make it quickly?" "Yeah, it just took a moment to concentrate on it," Midas said. "And you tested it?" "IQ tested it, and it was the genuine article. Not one carbon atom out of place," she said. "Coach Monet gave him permission to use the lab equipment and computers?" First Team looked like a deer in headlights. Coach just rolled his eyes. "Who else worked on this?" "Knight and Armory," Olympian said after she hesitated. "All right, here's how it works. You get their coaches to approve this project, and I'll get you everything that HU and previous alphas have done on the subject." "Are you available by comms today?" she asked Connors. "I'll be gone till after 1500, then I'll be on site. I plan on being back in this room at 1900 to give you instructions for your first day. But this morning, I brought all of you a present." First Team perked up, and each alpha wanted to know what. "What kind of present? Where is it?" Virtuoso was the first to ask. "Darkspeed, why don't you get all the stuff out of the hall?" Connor said. Darkspeed blinked away, and several boxes appeared in the room. "What is it?" Olympian said. "That is a state-of-the-art, high-definition 144-inch screen with all the bells and whistles. Blu-ray changer, digital stereo, theater speakers, and everything else a bunch of young alphas could want." "This is so cool," Midas said, looking at the boxes. "I have an ulterior motive for this." First Team became suspicious as Connor said this. "I want you to be social with each other. I don't want you to use the computer in your room as a form of entertainment. I want you to do things as a group. This is my bribe." "And a fine bribe it is," Olympian said as he started pulling the cardboard apart. "Virtuoso," Connors said. "Yes, Coach?" "Look in that box. It's for all of you." Connors pointed out a cardboard box that had a lid placed on it loosely. Virtuoso looked into the box and found stacks of books and magazines. They were all about decoration, home appliances, fabric, lighting, and the latest smart home gadgets. "Is this some kind of tease?" Virtuoso asked Connors. "No, you were right. This place looks like a dungeon. Find what you want in these books, and I'll see if I can get it for you." "Awesome! My kind of assignment!" Virtuoso was now looking through the material at high speed. "Before you get too far, get breakfast." Connors was now on his way out of the room. I'll see you at 1900. Be here." She stared out into space and then jumped up, running to her room. "What's Jet doing?" Midas asked. "Jet's checking her earpiece for water resistance," Virtuoso said. "Huh?" "Jet's taking a shower while telling A.K.A, Armory, and Knight to talk to their coaches. She says she'll be out in 5. I can't get this set up in 5 minutes." Olympian was more interested in their new toys than in food. "I can," Darkspeed said. "Don't!" Olympian snapped. "Look, putting something together is fun too. If you do everything super fast, the rest of us miss out." Darkspeed remembered the time he did the Christmas tree at super speed. His father made him take it back apart and had a long talk with him. He lectured him about the reward of doing and not just the end result. The experience was supposed to be for the whole family. If he always did things at super speed, others would be robbed of the same experience. "You're right, we should all do it." The boys started looking for a place to put the screen on the walls. "Stop, you heathens of design," Virtuoso said. "What?" Olympian said. "Have you given any thought to the flow of the room? What kind of seating will there be? The lighting or the colors? We haven't decided on a theme for the room. How can you know where to put that thing?" Olympian and Darkspeed just stood still. Midas backed away from the older boys, leaving them on their own. "I just thought we could put it up," Darkspeed said sheepishly. "Wait until after we've had a chance to think about it. Do you two even know what you want this room to look like?" Darkspeed and Olympian looked around the room, showing little signs of thought. Darkspeed finally nodded his head slowly and spoke. "I want it to look like a palace." Olympian didn't really have an opinion either. "Yeah, I'd like the room to be as pimp as possible." "Pimp?" Virtuoso overpronounced the word as she said it. "Yeah, it's a word the Americans use. It means over the top, right?" Olympian looked at Midas and Darkspeed. "What?" Midas asked as Darkspeed was quiet. "You're American, tell her." "I don't use the word pimp," Midas said. "You don't?" "No. Do I look like a preteen pimp to you?" Darkspeed and the others laughed at the thought of Midas being any kind of stylish. "Right. In architecture terms, what would you call pimp?" Darkspeed asked. Virtuoso mulled it in her head a moment. "Maybe Baroque, but you wanted Royal Baroque." "Imperial, with a futuristic twist," Olympian said. "Yeah, with superhero-type elements," Darkspeed added. Virtuoso made a face that said, "You have to be kidding. You want me to find that in these books?" "Sure, or we can decorate," Olympian said, standing closer to Darkspeed. "I'll do it. Just, you two, don't touch anything." She came out of her room with her hair still wet. "Ready for breakfast." "Are your friends talking to their coaches?" Midas asked. She looked at Virtuoso, who just shrugged. "News travels fast in this place. Yes, approval of the project is their top priority of the day," she said. After breakfast, Midas made a quick vid phone call home. When he came out of his room, only Virtuoso was still there. She was going through the stack of books. "Jillian, or do you like Jill?" "Jillian or Jill is fine. Some of my friends call me Jilly." "Jilly it is. Where's everyone else?" Olympian and Darkspeed went out to the desert to break rocks and beat their chests. Bioforce went with to make sure they don't die. She is back with the Brain Squad. I think their coaches are going to back the Supersuit project. What are you going to do? My parents just gave me the what for not going to church and for not asking about church. Why didn't you just ask me? You know? Yup, read it in Hanson's mind. Your coach is supposed to make whatever religious service you choose available to you. In your case, Connors is supposed to get you to a Christian church on Sunday, if you ask him. Oh, that's easier than I thought it would be. For today, my dad gave me a Bible study to do. I think I'm going to go to the library for that. I'll be back in an hour or so. I'll be here. She said nothing, holding up a book in both hands. First team seemed to migrate back to the dorms around lunchtime. Darkspeed and Olympian were covered with dust and dirt. What happened to you two? She asked. Super football, Olympian said. Soccer, said Darkspeed. Whatever it's called, it was a spectator sport, that's for sure, Bioforce said. Why? Midas asked. All the hitters, a few flyers, and anchors. What about 15 players? Bioforce said. Yeah, three-way. We made 3 goals and played it cutthroat style, Olympian said. Cutthroat? You're working with another team one moment, then trying to score against them another. It was so much fun. We said we would keep playing after lunch, Darkspeed said.